Hi there folks, welcome to the kitchen. Today we're going to be cooking Gambol stew. Gambol stew is a recipe I came up with myself. It's basically a really hearty, warming stew made from lamb hearts. We've got some kidney and we've got some liver. So effectively all the organs of the lamb that people generally eat. Now a lot of people will say that they don't like liver or kidney or heart. To be honest, they're mad because to begin with, heart is one of the best muscles to cook, because if you cook it, it literally falls apart. It's delicious. You do get a dryness occasionally from liver, but liver cooked properly and stewed will actually be very, very nice, as long as it's been seared properly before it's cooked. There's not too much though to make it dry and powdery. Kidney on the other hand, as long as it's prepared properly, tastes absolutely fine. The basic ingredients are lamb heart, lamb liver and lamb kidney, along with onion, carrots, parsnips and potato, and a variety of herbs and spices. Step number one. Now at this point, we're going to start prepping our meat. Now as you can see, I've got 3 juicy lamb hearts, fresh from the butcher, all ready to go. Now, the trick with lamb hearts is to use a sharp knife and ensure that when you cut into them, you cut through the ventricles. Now, you do find that there tends to be a lot of blood vessels here. When they're cooked, they will actually break up. The best thing to do is to cube the meat. You want about 2 centimetre cubes. The liver. Of course, the liver does need to be chopped in particularly small pieces. Again, round about the same size as the heart, 2 centimetre pieces. Now the liver is the part you have to be careful with. You want it to be flash fried, and that is all. If you overcook the liver, it becomes powdery and not anywhere near as nice as it could be. Chop off any stringy pieces. Don't leave them. That's not good, so it's not going in there. These are the kidneys. Now kidneys, unlike the heart and the liver, kidneys do have a piece in the centre which should be left out. As you can see, the cross section there, there's a little white section that's the bit you don't really want to eat. So do is simply cut around that. And remove it. Simple. Once you finish chopping the meat and the vegetables, put the vegetables, except for the onion, into the casserole dish. Now, I would cook using a gas hob on a high to medium heat. We want to really ideally sear this, rather than just cook it. Now, starting with a medium heat, we're going to add all of the heart to the dish. And as soon as it's done, you're going to be popping it into the casserole dish. this stage it's not worth putting anything in with meat. It generally just be left cooked by itself. Quickly and evenly. Don't bother it too much. Just keep it going. And at this point, you're going to be sure your oven is on around about 200 degrees. Preheating. As you can see, there's still quite a lot of pink in there. That's not an issue. That's going to come out. Try and conserve the juices in the pan. Pop the meat into the casserole dish. Now, I'm going to quickly flash fry the liver. As I said, this is a flash fry. You don't want it to be in long, and you don't want it to overcook. Don't want it to burn, don't want it to stick, don't want it to overcook. That one as well. Again, we're flash frying it, it doesn't need to be cooked all the way through. Here come the kidney. You will get a lot of smoke off this because the kidney has so much water in it. Again, kidney does not need to be overcooked. Kidney burns itself in seconds. And the lovely kidney all goes in to there. At this point, we want to deglaze the pan. Insert the juice from the heart at the beginning. Should then use that to cook the onions. Cooking the onions, all we're doing here is caramelising them slightly on the outside. Just a gentle browning to soften them and to give them a little bit of extra burnished flavour. Now the next stage of cooking is to mix it all together and add seasoning. A good teaspoon of salt. Healthy amount of pepper. I like to add just a couple of cloves, and about a tablespoonful of mint, and a healthy pinch of tarragon. We'll also add 2 teaspoonfuls of thyme. Once you've added all these together, give them a mix, or if you feel confident, a shake. But be careful because you don't want to lose anything. Now at this point, you want to add approximately 2 pints of stock. I'm using lamb stock. You could also use chicken stock, or beer, or vegetable stock. Any of them's fine. The lid on it, and then it's into the oven for approximately an hour. Well, that's the hour up, time to see how it's doing. So, always make sure, oven gloves handy, and it's time to take it out of the oven. Delicious. I really smell the flavours coming out there. Give it a good hefty stir. Make sure that ideally what you want is all the stuff that's on the top to end up at the bottom, and all the stuff that's on the bottom to end up at the top, so that everything cooks evenly, and so that all the herbs and spices that have been getting crisped on top end up mixing in with the juice. Obviously a lot of this juice is still going to evaporate as it cooks. I mean, it will a very slow evaporation process, and the rest of it will end up getting absorbed into the potato and the carrot and the parsnip. But that should do. Give it a nice healthy stir, as I said. Now, and it's back into the oven again for at least another hour and a half. Okay, here we go. It's well cooked, most of the moisture has evaporated off. It's absolutely delicious. Perfect. My grandmother always taught me that you should never serve stew unless you're using a proper wooden spoon. Get a nice big bowl. Get a big hearty scoopful of this. And there you have it. Stew fit for a king. The final test. Beautiful. It just comes apart. Absolutely delicious. And the wonderful thing is, you know, you could leave this in the oven for another 2 or 3 hours and it would still be perfect. In fact, what you could do is you could take the same recipe. You could take a piece of braising lamb, or you know, the same recipe with stewing beef. A piece of meat that really needs to take a while, like skirt steak or something like that. And all you do is you fry the outside of it, flash fry it on the outside just to seal it, and then leave it in there. And you leave the meat in there for 3 or 4 hours. You do it about lunchtime, and then it's ready for tea. It tastes just as good heated up as it does fresh. In fact, sometimes stew tastes better overnight if it's been left overnight to cool, and you heat it back up in the microwave, because it gives the flavours time to meld with each other. Anyway, I'm going to enjoy this, so I hope you've enjoyed it. Funny wee recipe from me, maybe the first of more. Subscribe if you feel like it, like the video, I'll make some more. Thanks.